we are going to be starting off with the Biden Dementia Watch. Because as I had commented in my stand-up, I can't believe that they're still going with it. Like, it's fun. It's fun that they're still putting him up there. He's tripping. He can't walk. The guy can't talk accurately, and they're still just going with it as if it's all normal. So I want to take a look at the most recent Biden instances from this past week, and let's start with him grabbing Eva Longoria's tit. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but to me, this is the ultimate proof of Joe Biden being absolutely retarded. Because if you're going to grab something on Eva Longoria, you should be grabbing her ass. We all know that, okay? You're grabbing the wrong thing. And then just to pull it back for a second here, I want to point out that this happening live on television, where Joe Biden is pulling the creepy grope move, we've all been there. We've all done this, just usually we don't get caught on camera doing it. But the reason that this had to happen was because of the crashing of the hush money markets, okay? Because if Donald Trump hadn't been taken down over the Stormy Daniels thing, all this could be happening behind closed doors, but now they've shut it down. You can't go be creepy behind closed doors. There's no Epstein's Island to go to, and so you got no choice but to try and get away with this live on television. Now, what's incredible to me about this, and I just kind of feel bad for hot chicks, because you got Eva Longoria. I guess she goes to the White House. She gives a whole speech. I actually care to follow the news, and I have no idea why she was there. And then, of course, the thing with Biden is if you ask him about this and go like, hey, you know that was inappropriate, he'd be like, you think that's inappropriate? You should have seen what I did with my daughter in the shower, okay? That was a fucking handshake right there. All right, now, you know, every once in a while you see a picture. I think this might be a little bit too dim for you guys to actually catch it, but you know, like in video games where the simulation starts glitching and like weird things start happening? So I'd like to point out that amidst this field of people who are taking pictures, someone's holding up a Cheetos bag like it's a camera. Like, if I've ever in my life just seen something that said, oh, the simulation glitched, it's the person who's there taking a picture with the Cheetos bag. All right, so that was first Joe Biden incident of the week. Here was the second one, was he was out in Connecticut. He was giving a speech about gun control. Did you guys see this yet? Yeah, well, if you haven't, Joe Biden was there. He's giving a speech about gun control in Connecticut. And here's from the end of Joe Biden's speech. I got to crank this volume a little bit. Hopefully not too much humming, and I don't get electrocuted.
Remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity.
I'm going to bump ahead because we don't need the whole minute
God
14.
Bless you all. And it's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you. I promise. All right? God save the Queen, man.
So I'd like to point out that there no longer is a Queen of England. She's no longer alive, and I don't know what that has to do with gun control. Oh,
in Connecticut.
The other moment I wanted to play, but I didn't play it, was he goes, I'm going to be standing over there, and I'm going to shake everyone's hand. And I was like, how long would that take? When the fuck does this guy have time to get work done if he's hanging out after speeches to shake everyone's hands? And then, of course, he ended his speech saying, and long live the Queen who's dead. I look at that, and I'm wondering, is he purposely throwing in nonsense to hide for the titty grab? You know what I mean? Like, are we getting to a point with Joe Biden where he's going to purposely start saying dumb shit because they're going to recall him? Or is that like a message to the lizard people? Because, you know, like sometimes like when you give a speech and you just throw something in that's like a joke for your friend, doesn't that kind of feel like that? Like he was sending a message to someone else, like he actually purposely, like someone dared him, like, hey, throw in a Queen thing, and he went for it. Yeah, exactly. It feels like the did you just say meow? That's what I was going for. All right. Now none of us can see this article here because the projector's set up, but I'll read it for you guys. This is from the New York Post, and it was Washington. President Biden canceled all 3 of his planned public events Monday to complete a 2-day root canal after a report last month described tension within Biden's inner circle. So for 2 days, he was off the clock for a root canal. What operation do you think they actually did to Joe Biden? Like, I'm convinced they had his brain up on a table. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the CIA was literally electrocuting it, and they're like, can we get 4 more years out of this thing? Like, I mean, those were the 2 days, fucking root canal. Also, Why does he, like, how do these old people eat like this? Like, of course, this is like Hillary Clinton shit where you got to pretend like you're a person. Like, for some reason, every time they send him out, they put an ice cream cone in his hand and they're like, just pretend like you like ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the little things that they do just to try and pretend like they're actual human beings. All right, so that was the two scandals this week in terms of just Joe Biden showcasing his dementia. And then, of course, we had this incident with this lady man who showed her really incredible tits at the White House. Did you guys see this? Yeah, because at first I saw this and I was like, well, who's this chick? And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh, I'm gay. I actually had already tweeted out, oh my God, who's this broad? And even in my stand-up act, I did a joke about when it comes to adults, who cares? But like now they're, I guess, altering their faces, and I'm like, can you guys just not do it? You know, like, you know, I don't know. It's like our whole lives they told us, well, what are you, homophobic? And I wasn't, but I guess at this point it's like, I don't know, if I didn't like calzones and you start disguising it to look like pizza. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just not like them. You know what I mean? I would just rather, like, I'm not judging you if you like it, or it's almost like the way they're turning bugs into hamburgers. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I don't care if you should be free. Go eat all the fucking bugs that you want to eat. You like bugs? You can be a bug eating enthusiast. And I really like hamburgers. Do you gotta disguise the bugs as a hamburger? You see what I'm like? I was okay living in the other reality, and I also kind of feel like it's a sales guy where it's like they're throwing out the thing that you like, but at some point you buy in and then you get a dick in your ass. So it's like I know what you guys are going for here. All right, so but here's the other thing. So you can't just operate off of one picture, because you look at this one picture. I don't know who wants to pretend to be straight enough here to not be a little intrigued after looking at this. There's no part of me. If we did a fucking lineup and you said, hey, is that a chick? How many of you guys would go, oh, that's like, there's fucking no I mean, maybe I'm just this perverted and distracted by tits, like that you just put new ones out in front of me, new signs, titties, and I'm like, that can't be a dude. But here's the thing, you really, the newspaper shouldn't be allowed to just show you trans people from one angle. Oh, that's hilarious. Can you guys see that note? You know what that means, right? The video is not here. ADD at its best, everybody. So there was a video where she went to apologize and could not more clearly still be a male. And not only not more clearly be a male, but she was using all like the new words of, I was just trying to be out there and sharing trans joy. Am I going to get struck by lightning? Because I just want to say, if that were to happen, if that were to happen, I just have two requests. One, I was talking about something else, okay? Because I don't want my last moments on Earth being like, oh, God struck him down for making fun of trans people, right? I can't have the last part of my legacy be that I endorse something. Say that I was talking about COVID or something. I don't know. And then maybe put out my last set. It's here. It's on the recorder. All right, moving forward. If I get struck by lightning. But don't, God, I think I'm doing good work, so I'd rather you didn't struck me by lightning. You could strike that guy from lightning, I think. No, I'm kidding. All right. This wasn't the apology video I wanted to play, but it's a different apology video, so you guys can get a little bit of context here.
Like my little moment of trans joy to be weaponized by vile people of the opposition. Moving forward, I am committed to using this moment as a catalyst for creating positive change, both within myself and within the broader community and the world at large.
All right, this is terrible, but you know what the news needs to do? You know, like the Rotten Tomatoes has a meter? So when they put out a picture and you're like, oh shit, maybe I am gay, they need like a passability meter next to it and pictures from other angles so that you can feel better about yourself. All right, I'm losing you guys on this one.
Audio.
What was that?
Audio does it.
Yeah, audio. Yeah. Yeah. All right, and then I think I had, this is the full video of her at the White House. Spreading joy.
Pride Month. Happy Pride Year. Happy Pride Life.
Yeah!
Transgender children.
You are beautiful.
You are heard.
You belong.
You are understood.
You are loved.
And you belong.
I just want to pause, and doesn't that feel like in a horror movie when you meet the foster parents? And they just want to be like, you belong in this foster care. We care about you. Doesn't it just have that creepy feeling like we're moments before it goes horribly wrong? All right, and then here's the rest of this ceremony.
Bravest, the most inspiring people I've ever known.
I mean, you're welcome.
Good folks.
Can we take a little video? Hi, Mr. President. It is an honor. Trans rights and human rights. Oh, it's a video.
Are we topless at the White House?
So the White House, to their credit, they actually, after the fact, because people were making fun of Biden, that his whole thing was that he was going to return dignity to the White House. Do you guys remember that that was a part of his campaign? And so they were just putting up the video of her and being like, you hired a... I don't know what she does in the trans world. I guess, you know, it's like a Dylan Mulvaney character. They go to the same publicist that teaches them these words of... What was that?
Her name is Dignity.
Is dignity. Oh yeah, there you go. Like I said, this is marketing at its best. I don't know why they get to own the word joy now. Like that's their thing. I guess though, if I was her, I'd be like, I spent a lot of money on these tits. I should show them to people. Like, I feel like people would appreciate it. All right, so that was the end of that topic. Now we've got Donald Trump. He is being prosecuted for not returning files on time. I already spoke about this. You got your OCD librarians who you cannot fuck over. They need to have everything properly filed. And so Donald Trump gave a speech after being released from prison. And so here's the way that Rachel Maddow decided to cover this speech on MSNBC. Oh, wait, hold on, the sound switch.
President himself is making remarks tonight from his home in Florida. As far as we can tell, and what we were prepared for here is that this is basically a campaign speech in which he is repeating his same lies and allegations against his perceived enemies. It is just getting started. So far, he's just giving his normal list of grievances. We don't consider that necessarily newsworthy, and there's a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. So our deal with you is that we will monitor these remarks. If he does say anything newsworthy, we will turn them around and report on that right away, but for now, just know that it's happening and we're not taking it.
Isn't that incredible? They treat Donald Trump like he's a witch, right? And it's like if he can just cast his spell, it's too powerful. And the listeners are okay with this. Like they don't even want the original source material. They're like, yep, you tell me what is and what isn't factual. Because, of course, Donald Trump was up there giving his side of the story, which is, hey, there's a Presidential Record Act. Everyone else got to keep their shit, and this is crazy. This is clearly, they're trying to turn me into a political prisoner. This is corruption of the highest level. And MSNBC cannot even have its listeners hearing that because I guess they might be convinced. This is the media now. It's so crazy because I've been following like news all the way back to I did a series called Rob's Newsroom, which has to be like 6 or 7 years ago. And the biggest change that happened after Trump came into office was that the media switched from being like, we're not allowed to present information. We can only present spin. Like it went full-scale propaganda. And this is just one of those pure examples. It's news. If the president just got arrested and he's giving a speech addressing why he was arrested, being like, we're not even allowed to show that because it might convince people. You see what I'm saying? It's like, we're in the frog, we're in the pit, and it's boiling up. This is full-scale socialism right here, where they can't even show you the information because you might be convinced. And so instead, it's, well, he hasn't said anything true, so we can't even let you guys evaluate it for yourselves. And now, that was on MSNBC. There was another fun moment, which this was on, what is going on here? Let's go to the next slide. Oh my God, insert Maddow. We just watched that. No, I bet it's going to be her. It's going to be her. All right. This is Jake Tapper on CNN. So at first they're playing video. Donald Trump, he gets out and he goes to
mishandling the most sensitive government documents that we have. And
over the backdrop of this guy talking, basically they're just showing video of Donald Trump and he's being celebrated at a Cuban restaurant. So we'll listen to the analyst giving his spin over Donald Trump, who's clearly amongst a crowd that's celebrating Donald Trump, which is a problem to the press because the press wants to convey an image that this is a racist, everyone hates him, nobody likes him, the same way they tried to sell us on the vaccines. You're crazy. If you're not getting the vaccines, everybody's getting this. They have an image that they have to portray that nobody likes Donald Trump. And so here's the spin, and we'll see the way Jake Tapper reacts to the video footage that's being played on CNN.
Along with Walt Nauta, who is charged with intentionally setting up lies to the grand jury, to the FBI. Any way you look at this, and again, despite whatever may be going on in that restaurant, this case isn't going to be settled legally in a cafe. It's going to be settled in the court based on the facts and law.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this in, he's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already.
Once again, newsworthy, right? The guy left. Think about the stock footage that you've seen on news channels where it's just, hey, I'm an asshole standing out of the place where something else is going on. Right? They'll literally stand outside of the UN and just go, I can't get in there, but right inside this building, there's a thing going on. Right? Think about how many times you've seen that in the news. It's just a guy, hey, I'm a schmuck standing out here, and then whatever they roll in the background. Here, they actually have the footage of the guy who just got out. This is classic news that you would showcase it, but because it's people celebrating him, they're not allowed to show it. And now here's where the media fucks up so bad with Donald Trump. To me, and I think this is the best way to see it, is like, you ever see someone be mean to like an old lady, and so you're instantly like, why the fuck are you being mean to an old lady? But if they stop being mean to her, then the old lady would like start being a racist, and you'd be like, fuck this old lady. Right? But what you need is for the person who's yelling at the old lady to stop being mean to her, so you could see that the old lady's a mean racist. But as long as you're being mean to the old lady, I'm rooting for the old lady, right? That's the problem that the news has with Donald Trump, is that, and not just the news, but the deep state and is that you got this incredibly wealthy asshole who's inherently unlikable, but because of the way they treat him, we look at him as he's being the underdog. And what I'm putting forward is that this entire thing, the media, if they just stopped, if they just actually reported, you'd find out Donald Trump is the racist old lady, and here's the proof. You guys are going to love this. This is incredible. So there was a news story that came out that Donald Trump, while he was at this restaurant, here's the headline, Trump promised food for everybody at Miami restaurant and then reportedly skipped. And I was like, okay, there's no way that happened. This has to be media spin. But then I actually came across the video. Here you go.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Food for everyone. Food for everyone.
So that's how much of a media genius Donald Trump is. He sees that the cameras are there and he goes, okay, I'm buying everybody food. So everyone starts celebrating Trump and then he just leaves. The coverage here should be that Donald Trump is a Welcher. That's what it should be. And then, of course, he's such a fucking weasel. If you asked him about it, you go, yeah, the restaurant had enough food they could have served you. I wasn't paying for it. They just had it. They had enough for everybody. All right. Moving on. What do we got next? So this was from CNN. They reported notepad students in a payphone, how CNN broke the news from Trump's arraignment despite a courtroom ban on electronics. And this is another article. What happened at Trump's historic camera-free arraignment and what happens next. And they go on to detail how they were able to get reporting done from a courthouse that wasn't allowing from reporting. Isn't that ironic when you're yelling about the rule of law? You're writing an article about how you broke the law. Your entire thing is, oh, Donald Trump doesn't have respect for the rule of law, while you're celebrating the fact that you figured out how to weasel around the court case being like you're not allowed to have cameras in here. They literally wrote a whole article about how they tried to get around the rule of law while writing articles about Donald Trump needs to be removed because he doesn't respect the rule of law. All right. Next thing, so this is also just showcasing the way that they spin this. This is from Week Magazine. Week Magazine used to be one of the best news sources. I still read it every single day, but it's another one that after Donald Trump, they stopped reporting information and they started just reporting their spin on the information. And here's an example. So they were reporting on Donald Trump's speech, which once again, if you're a fan of leftist politics, you can watch their news stations. They're not showing to you, but here's the way that they reported on that speech. I don't know if you guys watch the speech when Donald Trump left? It was classic Donald Trump. I've seen tired Donald Trump and I've seen energetic Donald Trump. Donald Trump was fucking cooking. He was yelling about the deep state. He was making really good points. He was on his game. And then they reported, visibly deflated after pleading not guilty for the second time in 3 months, Trump's dry and low energy speech, and they put in quotes. Who are they quoting? Like it used to be you would quote something as like, here's what the expert was saying. This is just they're quoting someone who works there, I guess. They don't even tell you who they're referencing. Donald Trump's dry and low energy speech pleased his advisors but drew a relatively muted response from a crowd that had minutes earlier crammed their phones for shots of his motorcade. That's not even true. The crowd wasn't unenthusiastic. The Times added he had entered to the same track, God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood. Then he used as an entrant theme so many times before. On Tuesday, the chorus landed differently. Proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Now in the coming weeks, Trump's team, blah, blah, blah. But it's just the fact that, they're looking at it. I watched the video. He was primetime Donald Trump. They won't show you the video and go, oh, look, even Donald Trump he got out there, gave a speech, and he said, oh, I'm fucked. Like, the guy's practically given up. All right, the other big thing that's going on in the news this week is he got all this chatter about aliens. And I wouldn't do this as a stand-up joke. I'm sure it's not an original thought. But I'm looking at all this, alien talk, and so we're supposed to believe that these guys travel across the entire galaxy. They bend the rules of everything we know about the way that airplanes or planes or ships are supposed to move. They move at speeds we can't. They've traveled distances that we can't. But in order to see, they need flashlights. Seriously, you're telling me that the way that these people who defy every other rule, they need lights, they need the fucking headlights from a Pinto Toyota from the 1962? That I can see it? You're telling me that they move at speeds that we can't, directions that we can't, but they need lights to see. All right? That's what, it's just, now, a couple years ago, if you told me aliens, I'd be all about it. Suddenly the government and mainstream media that won't even cover Trump is telling me that aliens exist. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys trying to sell me? You need me back in my house? What are we getting at here? All right, and so here was the reporting, which you guys heard my joke earlier about calling the police and how quickly they responded. So I think with that context, you're going to enjoy the news reporting of the police responding to what is being deemed a credible claim of an alien landing in someone's backyard in Las Vegas.
In the middle of the yard where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then...
What more do you need? The cops jumped right on it and showed up 40 minutes later. You could have gotten a team from Domino's there with pizzas to feed the aliens quicker. The cops took this so seriously they got there within 40 minutes. So, yeah, they jumped right on it.
In the middle
All right, what else we got? Oh, this is fun. We now know the first 3 people to get COVID worked in the Wuhan lab. Will the U.S. government act? Spoiler! Right? It finally comes out, which, by the way, I'm calling it. They go, yeah, the first 3 people we finally verify they got in the Wuhan lab, but apparently they ate bat for lunch. That's going to be the next claim. They're going to be like, yeah, it was the 3 of them, but that's because they're really big bat eaters. It's infuriating.